It's a miracle that I'm alive because what I had, people don't survive. I was at the gym taking a spin class and got out, was getting ready to go to work, and all of a sudden I had this pain in my chest and I almost passed out. I ended up having open heart surgery because I had a tear in my aorta and they replaced it, and I have a synthetic aorta now. So community for me has been vital the last few years. 2021, my mom and my sister both caught COVID. They shared each other's germs. My sister was in the ICU down in Jacksonville, Florida, where they lived and where I'm from. The nurse was wonderful. He let me Zoom with her. She was on a ventilator, but he let me Zoom with her and I was able to talk to her, and she nodded her head and acknowledged. And then the next day, she passed away. I was here in New York. I couldn't be there, but I was reading the 23rd Psalm to her as they took her off the ventilator and as she passed into eternity. And my mom at the time was in the ER downstairs being admitted for COVID pneumonia. And 5 days later, my mom was in the ICU. I got a phone call one evening and they wanted to put her on a ventilator because she just wasn't recovering. And she said, no, I don't want to go on a ventilator. And the doctors were like, we're going to honor her decision. And a few hours later, she passed away. And that was 5 days apart. And then a year later, almost to the day, on May 5th, I got a call from my son Nate's college that he had passed away. He was a type 1 diabetic and went into a diabetic coma and did not wake up. And he passed away 1 week from graduating with a degree in music.
Over and over, you feel the weight on your shoulders, the world pushing in.
All the other stuff, I just kind of say is that's part of life and it's hard and you get through it. This was absolutely devastating, just devastating. And I was in the hotel room just sitting on the side of the bed and I was in shock. I didn't even cry until the next day because I was so in shock. And I was just sort of staring off into space. And I felt God come and sit next to me on the bed. It was like I didn't see anything or hear anything, but I felt him come, and I know his presence. I spend time with him, but I've never experienced his presence this way. I have a different relationship with God now because of him walking through this with me. But at the same time, my community has absolutely showed up in so many different ways. I got calls, text messages, cards, gift cards to restaurants. I still have somebody who every 5th of the month, she sends me a text. I take Nate in my heart everywhere I go. He's very much a part of who I am. But the goodness of God is there and my community is there. And so to me, that's the way to live life.